Okay, websites. You've probably seen a few in your day, and maybe you want to make one of your own. Now, it's easy to think that you know everything about how to make a good website, especially if you've already spent a lot of time surfing around the internet. But before you start making your own website, let's talk a little bit about design principles. What do we mean by design principles? Well, it sort of breaks down into two categories. First and foremost, we're going to give you a quick overview of all the little parts that make up a whole website. That way, you can start thinking about all the pieces you'll need to assemble for your own page. Then, we'll cover how you organize those pieces into a website, because the little parts of your website are just the top layer of design. How you put all those pieces together into a good site is somewhere between a science and an art. As we learn the basics, we're going to spend a little time showing you some awesome design work, along with a little bit of time showing you some not so awesome design work, because we can learn important things from both. Okay, let's get into it. This is a nice, clean, professional site I made that's totally possible for you to recreate after just a few short lessons. Let's review the major components. When someone visits your site, the first page they're going to see is this, the home page. Sometimes there is a thing called a splash page that pops up first. A splash page is usually a graphic or logo that you click to get into the main site, kind of like the dust jacket on a book. For a while, splash pages were very popular, but now most design professionals will tell you that adding a splash page is poor design, since it's just one more barrier between a visitor and actually experiencing the content of the site. But you might use a splash page if you want to give visitors an introduction to your site before they start exploring. Also, a splash page can be used to ask visitors what language they speak or to gather other information, enabling the website to react to that information accordingly. If you do use a splash page, make sure there's an easy-to-find link to the home page, and maybe make sure the splash page only plays the first time a visitor comes to the site. The home page serves as a gateway to the rest of the site, so it should provide easy access to the various sections of your site, as well as a general idea of all the content to be found there. Thus, you should remember to design it with this in mind. Your home page should tell the visitor what kind of site this is. People want to know what they're looking at. People also want to know where else they can go and what else they can see once they've arrived at your website. See this list at the side of the page? This is referred to as the navigation bar. When you click through a site, the page will change. But, design tip, the navigation bar is always going to be there. It links to every other part of your site, and if you've ever gotten lost trying to get back to something you liked on a site that didn't have one of these, you'll know how important a consistent navigation bar is. It's important to make the navigation bar easily accessible, as the visitor will need that regularly. Navigation bars are sometimes at the side and sometimes at the top. You might put your navigation bar at the top if you want to use drop-down menus, or if you want more horizontal space on your page. If it's a long list of options, or if you want a simple header at the top of the page, you might put your navigation bar down the side. The location of your navigation bar is a design choice every web designer makes, either for artistic or technical reasons. However, there's some information that all sites should include that doesn't need to be front and center on your page. These are things like a note about your site's privacy policy, places to join mailing lists, and ways to contact the creator, called the author, and the person who keeps the site working, called the webmaster. By convention, most of this is included here, at the bottom, in the footer. People are used to finding this kind of information in the footer, so it's a good idea to follow this example. Some designers may also replicate the navigation bar items in the footers as a simple text alternative for accessing the different sections of the page. Before we leave the home page, let's talk about consistency. Let's click through one of these well-designed sites. Notice something? Even though the content changes from photo page to information to media, the look and feel of the site remain the same as the home page. It all looks like it's part of the same site. This is important for establishing some unity in your design. Line up as an elegant whole. Key design principles you should consider as you begin to develop your website. Design principles are what hold your site together, making all of these elements join up as an elegant whole.